Good afternoon, everyone. I am here with Product Experience Manager of Kiwi Lane Designs, Mindy, and we are on
Hi.
day 6 of our creating challenges. So if you're not aware, for Kiwi Lane's 12th birthday this year, we decided to do 12 days of creating challenges. So with these creating challenges, we're asking our community to create along with us during these and submit their own pictures in the discussion tab. So you can find the overview discussion tab in the description of this event. Be sure to click there and make a post so you can post your creation in honor of our 12th birthday. Also, if you guys are not aware, there's my 3-year-old in the background. If you're not aware, we are doing a pre-sale on these t-shirts. They're I'm a Creator t-shirts, Kiwi Lane. They come in raspberry and teal, and they can be found on the link that I will post in the comments. But let's get started with Mindy. Mindy, do you see comments?
I see Trisha on here.
Hi,
yes.
Trisha.
And
make sure you guys say hello, drop a comment.
Say hello so I know you're here so I can make sure it's working on my end. But
tell us what you're creating for your day 6 meaningful moments.
Now I've got Samira. All right.
Perfect. All right, Mindy, I'm going to head out. You got it from here.
All right. Thanks. All right, everybody. Normally it's Friday when I talk to you, but it's Thursday today. One more day of the week. You guys can do it. All right. So today we are talking about our making our memories meaningful, and specifically with our titles. A lot of times, I have to be honest, a lot of times I either don't use a title or I just use a title card from our awesome Kiwi Club kits. But I am going to show you a few other little tips and tricks that I have tried along the way. And I kind of was inspired by Susan the other day when she was flipping through her album. And so I thought that might be the easiest way, rather than trying to shuffle different layouts and things, to just put it in a binder. So you will see that certain pages don't go with other pages because I pulled them all from different books, and hopefully I can get them back in the order that they go in the other books that they belong in. But so as I was saying, I pull a lot. I use a lot of titles from our paper kits, our Kiwi Club kits, our double layout kits. The title cards are awesome, and they work beautifully with the designer templates. The designer templates are see-through, so they layer over the titles, so you can make them fit inside so many of the designer templates. Sometimes, as you see here, I will even cut the titles apart. If they're in a row or if they're in a shape that I really can't utilize as well, I will cut them apart. And like here, I just glued them, adhered them onto a little tag shape under my Polaroids, because I felt like it really, my girls would be mortified if they knew I was sharing these pictures. But it just, the sentiments went perfectly with what they were doing. They were being silly. They were laughing at each other. They were playing with face masks. And so find beauty in everything is what I went with as my main focus of my title, because even though they are being silly, like beautifying, face masks are there to beautify and help our skin, right? But they did not fit their face, and they were being silly at the moment. And so I thought find beauty in everything, even those silly moments, was perfect for this layout. And then I did capture smiles, capture love, and capture life down there on the little individual pictures. I just felt like it really captured the silly moment that they were experiencing, and just capturing the youthfulness of life. And so as well, on this layout, I'm going to slide this over, hopefully. Oh, are you guys still there? Okay. On this layout, I did the same. The title card fit perfectly within this little camera designer template. So a lot of times I will utilize those title cards, which are awesome. they are really great. And we try and make meaningful titles that will really capture a wide range of memories and moments for people. Another tip I have is, along with title cards, is sometimes you want to use a title, but it's not big enough for a full template or whatever. This was the case with this one. You'll see down here. This, I just wanted to capture just these single pictures of my daughter, kind of for her to look back on or visualize her future or different things. So I really loved the title of Dream Big, Sparkle More, Shine Bright. She was really shining with her smile, and just, we have so many hopes and dreams for these kids, especially in their teenage years, and what they'll accomplish. And so I really wanted to use this title, but it wasn't big enough to, it was only a 4x6 size. So I didn't want to use it as just a rectangle. So I thought it could be fun to put in lacy trims. And then I trimmed it as well. I layered it on this streamer, and then I trimmed it to follow the curve of the streamer, which I thought was a really fun effect. So you have that layer, you have that design around your title, but it gives a really pretty flow, and it flows with the rest of the design as well. So that is another tip. So you can definitely use the designer templates to your advantage, and even if you don't think it will fit in a shape or a designer template shape, use part of the shape and tuck it or layer it in a different, unique way. It works out really well. And that's what I love about the designer template. It allows you to visualize how that might look, and then it might spark other ideas as you play and move along, and just different ways to expand on your title. Let's see, I have all these tags so I can flip to them. Let's see. So this was another one that I didn't have a specific, so this is again my daughter, and she's a gymnast, and she always does handstands or cartwheels or flips, whatever, anywhere we go. And we were on a vacation, and so I was taking pictures. She was doing handstands in all the different places that we went to. And so I had this idea that I could use the arrows as they were kind of like flipping across the page. And but I didn't have a title really. I didn't have a already made title to use. So I just went on my computer and I typed out a quote. And quotes are awesome to use for titles. Sometimes we use a word, sometimes we use a phrase, a quote. There's so many different things to use, but I really wanted to play off what she's doing in these pictures. And so I typed up, like, sometimes life should be enjoyed from a different perspective, since she's always upside down in all these pictures. And then I just wrapped it in my rings. I didn't have a specific shape that I was going for. And especially since I was typing it out on my own computer, I didn't have a program to design it into a certain shape or anything. So I just I printed it on some white cardstock, and I cut it out in a circle, and I just layered my rings around it to give it that focus. So it was really fun to do. And I just did a couple circles there. So you don't need anything fancy. If you want to make your own titles, it's very doable. Just print it out on some cardstock, and then, you can adjust the size depending on how you want it to fit, but you don't need, you can easily create your own titles. It's very doable. And here's another one I did. And like I said, the title cards, going back to the title cards, often work perfectly in our designer templates. So that is always an option if you buy our paper. But sometimes we don't use Kiwi Lane paper, right? We always say Kiwi Lane plays friendly, and it definitely does. And you'll see in this layout, So a lot of other people's paper comes with stickers, a sticker sheet, right? And it's always a big sheet of stickers. And I always think, oh, now they're so cute, but I just don't know what to do with them all the time. And I have found that usually they're a thicker sticker, like a cardstock sticker, which is really nice. And I will pull it off and I will still ink the edges just like I would if it was a cutout from a designer template or whatever. I will still ink the edges. And I found that, round stickers work awesome on flower centers. On this one, I did the same thing. It was an actual title or phrase sticker, and I used it as the title for my page. And I inked the edges and I just layered it on top and I stuck it down. So stickers work great. Make use of those sticker sheets, and you can, especially if they're a bigger size, you can definitely make them a big focus for a title on your page. Okay, I did not do this, but as I was looking through my pages, I thought this was a great idea for not necessarily a title, but making a picture meaningful. I think we all have pictures where maybe school pictures that we want to remember our kids at a certain age, or wedding pictures, or just those really big events that we want to remember people at a certain moment in time. So I had a friend, I think it was actually Shiloh, who did these. And this was taken in front of a chalkboard. And so it was a bare background. And then she probably put it into a program, AI or something. And she put, it was all the friends and the people in my daughter's church class, and they wrote what they love about her. And so Shiloh took these messages from her friends, and she put them in different fonts and things around her picture on the background. And it was really, I love this picture because I think it will be awesome for her to one day go back and read what people thought about her and how much she was loved. And so that's another option. If maybe you don't have a title, but you want to create a meaningful focus for your pictures. And if you have a program like that, or I think you can probably even do it on, you can mark up a picture or whatever in different ways and create that. But you can create titles or meaningfulness around the focus of your picture. So that's just something I thought was cool that I would mention, and maybe give that a try. If you have those school pictures, especially, would be really fun for that, because they usually have a solid background that you can layer other messages on. Gina, I never thought of inking stickers. Yes, it is. Yes, I would totally recommend it. It then at that point it looks like just paper. Well, it is paper, but it just gives that added dimension that all the rest of your elements have, and really pops those titles off your page. All right, so I did the same thing here. You'll notice that sweet summertime sticker. A lot of times you'll find stickers in non-Kiwi paper. So I will try and find at least some uses for them. Sometimes they're in like little squares. Well, this is another option. These weren't stickers. They were on a paper, but they were in a way that I couldn't utilize them in the shape that they were in. So I cut them apart. The letters, I cut them apart into little squares, and I just lined them across my paper strip right there for my title. So that's another great way to do that. Oh, Beth inks her stickers too. Awesome. And then, so I didn't put a title on here in the traditional sense of the word, but this paper kit had a strip that had love you bunches across it. And so I used that for my title. I didn't necessarily need a title for these pictures. They were just, cute pictures of my daughter eating. We all take pictures of our kids when they're all messy. It's usually spaghetti. At this point, it was baby food of some sort. But so I just used the strip that said "Love You Bunches," and I went across the top of the page with that as my title. So don't feel like you always have to have a big, main title. There's lots of subtle ways to add a title and add meaningfulness to your page as well. Let's see. This is another way to just subtly, we all have sticker sheets, I'm sure. And this sticker sheet actually had words on it. It wasn't letters. We probably all have sticker sheets of letters, but this was actually just words. And I thought that this gold lettering was so pretty and really went really nice with the paper. So I just put one word. One word, I think, sets the whole mood for these two pictures that I have. I just used the word pretty because my daughter had a kind of a little photo shoot out in a field with her cousin, and they were just soft, casual pictures. And so I thought that just the word pretty went really nicely. So it doesn't always have to be a quote. It doesn't always have to be a whole phrase. Just one word. One word does the trick a lot of times too. Let's see what else we got in here. Another thing. Oh, did I get there yet? Oh, hold on. Where is it? Maybe I skipped it. The main one I wanted to show you guys, and I've showed it before. Oh, it's back here at the beginning. I skipped it. Okay, I've showed this layout multiple times. It is still one of my favorites and probably will always be. And the reason it is the big letters. The big letters, the pictures too, because this was back when my kids did not care about being silly or what they look like or mom taking pictures. Now they're like scared to death to be silly in front of a camera for me because they know that it will go in a book. Either it will be on a live for Kiwi Lane or it will be on a Facebook post or something. And so they aren't as eager. But this was before I really scrapbooked a lot. So they were more eager and willing then. But these letters, where did I get these big letters? You won't find stickers usually this big. And if you do, we've talked about this. Sticker sheets are really hard sometimes, especially letter ones, because you need usually more vowels or more of some letter and then you have to buy multiple packs of letters, and it gets really frustrating because then you end up with this. And I wanted to show you this too. So this is one of the Totally Tiffany boxes, and I just cut off the flap. And this is how I store all my letters. I have a lot of letters because I did a calendar project a while back for my brother and sister-in-law. And so I got different letters for the different months of the year to spell out the month. And so I have all these letter packs, but they're all like partially used because I only used the letters that I needed for the month. And then I have all these letters left. And more than likely, they won't spell much. So that is a problem. So in order to solve this problem, I go and I buy, well, I have some and I just reuse them. So I buy the chipboard letter packs. And you can adhere these onto a layout. It would be really fun. It would add that thickness and dimension. But what I use these for is I trace them onto bigger paper. Now, I will specify that I only use this technique for when I'm doing just like 2 words or 1 word or small, like short titles. Okay, because I don't want to cut out a bunch of different letters. And I usually do them bigger letters so that they're not so hard to cut out. Little tiny words would be kind of tedious and annoying. So I get these big letters, and there's lots of different fonts you can get. Like this one's kind of a medium size letter and kind of a different font. This one's a little more wonky, kind of playful. And this one's a, more typewriter like. So I will get these and I will lay them on my paper and just trace them just like I would my designer templates, cut them out, and then I would lay them on my page like you see here. And I love it because then I can use the patterned paper and that matches the rest of my layout. It really draws the eye. It really gives a fun kind of really big focus to the page, and especially the style of the page you're going for. It really plays well with your photos. So I would totally recommend it. I do that all the time, depending on the title I'm going for with my page. So it's just a little trick that I do. I don't know if anyone else does it. Let me know if you have ever done that as well. Cricut works great for letters as well, but I do not have a Cricut. And so I feel like I'm already cutting out shapes. A couple letters, won't hurt me at all. But let's see, Lynn, do you put the paper on the chipboard or just use the paper letters? I just use the paper letters because then I can reuse my chipboard letters for another for future projects to keep tracing them. If I was to adhere them onto the chipboard letters and then onto my page, I would have to go buy more chipboard letters the next time when I wanted to use them. So I just use the paper. I ink it just like, all the rest of my paper, and it pops off the page with the inking. And sometimes I will even put pop dots under my letters and pop them up for a little bit more depth. Elizabeth, are these pages by any chance on Pinterest? No, this one might be, because I have shared it before in a live. I don't know if there are any on Pinterest, but yeah, I haven't uploaded any of my stuff on Pinterest. If it is on Pinterest, it's because it was a Kiwi Lane project at some point. But maybe at some point I will do that. But not at they're not at the moment. So let's see. Ruby traces her letters all the time from chipboard as well. Awesome. So this was another one I did the same thing, but I used kind of medium-sized letters and for a color run. And because I didn't have a title or anything specific to that, but I just wanted to highlight what we were doing, why we were covered in color. And so I just cut out those letters. Let's see, there was a few other things I was going to show you. Oh, okay. Another thing I do sometimes is I will mix and match some paper. So this is where I cut out my letters out of paper, like I just showed you, off of chipboard letters. I traced them, I cut them out, I adhered them to my page. And then I had enough of these sticker letters to go with it. So I wanted to highlight that he was playing in the mud, but I didn't have enough of these letters to spell the whole title out. So I cut a portion of it out of letters and paper, and then I used stickers for the other part. That really drew focus to what he was doing. And I loved that two-tone effect. And then I stuck my letters on top of my template shapes. Sorry about the glare, guys. To really give a more meaningful focus to that word mud as well. So that was another thing I did. And I did that here as well. This one was a Kiwi Lane title card that I cut into my shape, and it just said, "You're just my type." But I wanted to make it more meaningful and highlight my memory, which is her losing a tooth. And normally you probably wouldn't have used this paper. This paper was kind of focused around love and Valentine's Day and different things. But it really, the coloring worked for me. And so I just cut out that title, You're Just My Type, but then I added on to it to make it fit my memory. And I added with stickers of smile. And so You're Just My Type of Smile, which is her toothless grin right there. So give that a try. If you want to add on to the titles, expand them more, make them fit even closer to the memory that you are highlighting, you can always add on to them. Make a two-tone title, cut part of it out of the title card and then add on to it with stickers, specialize it with stickers, or other letters in that way. Another option for titles, there's so many options, guys. There's so many options. Is to, again, if you have sticker letters or, is to follow the shape of your design. Like you can follow a border, which I'll show you here in a minute. This one, I followed the outside of the ring. So rather than just put it straight across somewhere, I really highlighted that ring that fit in my design. And I just put my title around the ring, which is a really fun look as well. And then, like I said, you can do that on a border as well, which is really fun to follow the edge of your border. This was a short title. I just put where we were at. But I have seen Susan, she's done journaling along her border, but you can put like a longer phrase that follows the curve of your border, which is really cute. So definitely give that a try as well, to really add focus and meaning to your titles. Okay, one last thing I'm going to share, and this is probably nothing new to a lot of you, but like I was saying before, that sometimes the title you want to use just does not fit on a title card perfectly, right? So this was in a Kiwi Club, and this title right here, the cream part at the bottom, Be Wild, Be Free, was along the bottom of a 4x6 card. Well, I thought it would be cute to put it in my mountain, but the mountain was too tall to fit on the card. So I cut a strip off, I cut that strip off the bottom of the card, and I cut my mountain out of a coordinating color. And then I laid that strip, I adhered it on top of my mountain to give that two-tone effect, but also give focus to the title that I wanted, because it's now centered on my mountain. That is a focal point for my pictures. And then I just trimmed off the edge to match the angle of the mountain. So there's definitely, a lot of ways you can make the title cards work, even though they might not be the exact size you need. Definitely play around with it, see if you can layer it on top. Or in this case, I cut out, this was on a title card, but I didn't want just a square on my page. I wanted it to fit in my kind of whimsical design down here. So I cut out the design out of the title card so I could have just the hot air balloon with the ribbon down here as an accessory piece, even though it started out as a title card. All right, Karina, I just had that problem with the mountain too. I wound up doing something else. Thanks for I would love to hear what you did. Tell us what you did to solve that problem. But yes, there's lots of options. So don't just scrap your idea because it doesn't fit traditionally in a template shape. See if you can tweak it, use part of it, use a portion of it, layer on top or layer behind. There's lots of things, lots of ways you can still make it work. And I think I showed you this before. Sometimes, like I said, I will cut them apart rather than have just a normal rectangle here. I wanted kind of a journaling effect. So I cut it apart into 2 strips and put it up there at the corner of my page as well. Let's see. Oh, I said one last, but this is the last one, guys. Another way you can have a meaningful title is put the title in your picture. Have you guys ever taken pictures of a destination sign, a big Disneyland sign, or this is where we were at the Oregon coast, and we, I think it was my husband that drew our last name and the year we were there in the sand. And then I took a picture and I used that as the title. So this is the front page of kind of some pocket pages that I did of our trip. So this was our front page that was a one-page layout, and then it led into some pocket pages from there. But to create the title of the whole trip, I used that picture. So that's another great idea. If you're on a trip, think about that. Think about places like really the main focus of your trip. Is it the beach? Is it an amusement park? Is it, I don't know, the mountains, the lake? Like use a picture as the main title of your page. All right, I want to read. Let's see. The card had little mountains above the word, so I just cut out the outline of the mountains instead. Not really how I wanted it, but it works. It was literally last night. I should have held on. Hey, it works. We always can tweak things as we go and learn, right? So that was a fun thing that we had to create a title and a focus for these memories. So give that a try as well. And all right, so I think that's all. Let me scroll through here and see if there was any other ideas. I hope you guys are inspired to try a few new things in these challenges that we're having for the birthday, or dozen days for a dozen years. It's been really fun to see all the different crafting episodes and the different things that people do, and then we can learn from each other and be inspired. So I hope you guys are inspired to add some meaningful titles and different things to your layouts. And I thank you all for joining me today. And I hope you guys have an awesome rest of the week. Definitely share your creations if you take on this challenge of adding meaningful moments to your memories. So I will talk to you guys later. I'm sure I'll see you around for another crafting episode another time, but thanks for joining me today. We'll talk to you later. Bye.